Hey folks, glad you made it into the city safe and sound tonight. Welcome to another episode of City of Phear. I'm your host Brennan Jordan, and it's good to have you back. We're here for the first time. Either way, all are welcome. Been thrilled to have the opportunity to do a few stories from some guest authors in the last couple of episodes, and it's definitely going to continue. But tonight, I've got one of my own for you. It's finally August, which means I can start the countdown until the summer and all its heat waves and humidity end. We get closer to my favorite seasons. Always can't wait until football and spooky season starts, but I find that I can get into a rut here or there, just zoning out and wasting time while I wait for the next thing. This story has a bit to do with that, so without further ado, I present to you The Disconnected. There's nothing. There's no one. Trust me, I've looked. Roamed around for a bit now. Thankfully, it's not too cold out and it hasn't rained. But my house is gone. My neighbor's gone, my friends, everything. Well, when I say everything, I mean everything. It's not just the people, it's the buildings, it's the passers-by, the birds, the squirrels, the rats, everything. Everything except, well, the pavement on the streets. Few plots of grass that were grass before, and empty dirt lots where most of the houses should be. So I don't know how best to explain this, but I'll try. My neighborhood in the city is full of row homes, blocks of houses that aren't too wide, all connected to each other. Most of them 2 stories, some of them 3. There's a few open spots where fast food joints and businesses have small parking lots off the main roads. There's usually a few small parks here and there that take up the space of about half a block, maybe a full block. Well, right now, all the roads and streets are there. No cars on them, driving or parked. No houses. The neighborhood and city is relatively flat, and it's strange that I can see far off into the distance. Probably many miles, when usually I can hardly see past or over the houses on the next block. Been roaming around the neighborhood like this for a while now. I don't know how long. The sun starts to set, and it gets a bit darker, but never really fully sets, before staying that way for a good bit and then just rising back up. It's been a couple of days, and I'm starting to freak out. I've realized a few surprising things. It's been what's felt like a couple days, and I haven't felt the need to eat or drink anything. Though I'd love a shot and a beer at this point to calm my nerves some. I haven't had to go to the bathroom either. Not that I could find any around here if my life depended on me. And that's really strange for me considering my grandpa bladder. The last thing that I can really remember before I ended up in wherever I am said I was in the big park in my neighborhood with my friends. We were having some drinks. We were sitting around shooting the shit, getting some bocce games in. It was a good time. A few of my buds had their dogs there, even though dogs weren't supposed to be in the space. We were legitimately just relaxing, enjoying the day. Last thing I remember is getting kind of tired and a little overstimulated or whatever. I went to lay against a tree and just, doom scroll on my phone for a bit. I think I was tired and maybe started to drift off to sleep. I'm not quite sure at this point. I remember waking up to this. It was exactly where I was, but no tree I was leaning against, just some grass. The fence around the park was still there, but all the rest of the trees from the park were gone. All the houses I would normally see on the streets around the outskirts of the park were gone, and all my friends were gone, along with all the other folks in the park. There'd only been a few aside from our group, but, they were missing too. I got up, brushed some of the dirt and grass off of me, looked around wondering where the hell I was. I knew exactly where I was, but it wasn't my neighborhood. Everything was gone. It was kind of like that Burgess Meredith Twilight Zone episode where the atomic bomb went off and everyone was gone, but that episode, he was in a bank vault that supposedly kept him safe while everyone else was vaporized. I was sitting under a tree. No way that could have happened and I'd have survived. Shouted out for my friends. Called their names at the top of my lungs. It was weird in that there wasn't even any kind of echo, because there were no buildings or structures for echoes to reverberate off of. I ran through my pockets looking for my phone to call somebody, and it was gone. Shit. Last thing I remembered was doom scrolling and looking at internet videos before passing out. Somebody must have snatched it from me after I passed out, but honestly, who really? There's nobody around that I can tell. After about 20 minutes of trying to collect myself and sort myself out, I decided the best thing to do was just head home. It was only a few blocks away. I went outside of the park from the opening of the fence. Even though it was only a few blocks, it almost felt hard to find the way, even though I kind of know it by heart. I only say that because there were no landmarks anywhere. Anywhere that they should have been. No street signs, no other houses, no nothing. The fire station on the corner by the main road a few blocks from my house was gone too. In place of all of the area where the houses should have been was just square slabs of dirty flat concrete. Thought about it for a bit on my walk to my house, and it just didn't make any real sense. If there was a bomb or something and all the houses were destroyed, well, most of the houses around here had basements and foundations going deep underground around those basements. There wouldn't just be concrete flat slabs over where all the houses were. I made it back to where my house was, or, well, should have been. I was disappointed, but not completely surprised when it just wasn't there. Jesus, what am I stuck in now? What is this world I'm in right now? There's no people, no houses, no real structures. Well, there's some structures. I can see in the distance, about 4 blocks or so away, the overpass where the highway is. Thought to myself, maybe if I can get on that highway, I can run into somebody or a car or something. Very least, I'll be up higher and get a full view of the neighborhood and see whatever I can see. It's about a 2 to 3 mile walk to where I could get onto the entrance to the highway going through the neighborhood. I took it. It didn't take me too long, maybe a little over an hour of walking at a pretty brisk pace. There's no traffic to get in the way, nothing to really look at as everything I was seeing in the neighborhood was all the same. Streets were there, some patches of grass, but not much of anything else. Finally made it up to the entrance to the highway. Then it was about another 2 miles back to where it becomes the overpass a few blocks away from my house. I made the trek. I didn't have anything else to do at this point. When I got up to where the overpass was around my house, or where my house should be, I should say, I looked over the edge and leaned over the barrier. As far as I could see, I saw pretty much all the same. Just nothingness. Or not nothingness, but plainness. There were still all the streets I remembered going in the same directions they were supposed to, right in the same places I remembered them. All the blocks were set up the same way I remembered them, sans the houses being there. I realized something for the first time since I came here, though. There was almost no sound, and no breeze. Up here on the highway, there should be some kind of wind whipping. When I looked to the northwest, I was startled when I saw what actually looked like a small building in the distance. It was a small square building with a little parking lot outside. Couldn't really tell how far away it was, but decided I needed to get there. It looked like the only part of civilization that might be left. The entrance I used to get on the highway was actually south, so I'd be backtracking to get off of it, but I didn't know when the next exit would be and if it would actually take me further off my route. The overpass was way too high off the street to just jump off. I'd definitely break a leg, if not just die trying to jump off or climb down. So I did what I could and doubled back. While I didn't need to eat, drink, piss or shit, I still did get tired. I curled up on the cement that first night and tried to catch some Z's. I had no idea how long I was out when I woke up. Having no phone and all didn't really matter as I felt rested enough. So I just took off walking, left with nothing but my own thoughts. Normally, I'd have some headphones on to listen to some music or a podcast, or I'd be absent-mindedly going through random short social media videos to pass the time. Not gonna lie, it was kind of weird and hard. A guy as crazy as me left to his own thoughts without distraction, shit can get weird and a little scary. While making the trek, I kept reaching in my pockets for my phone that wasn't there. Realized a couple of things. One, I didn't have anything to distract myself with. And two, I was feeling increasingly lonely. The combination of the two was getting unbearable. Even though it had only been a day and change, at least that's the amount of time it seemed like. I realized one more thing that I hadn't even really thought of. Without the sound of people, cars, the general craziness of the city, everything was completely silent. Silence can be really nice when you want it. When you go somewhere, you're hoping for it. When you're in the middle of a big city and there's this type of silence, it's unexpected and really unsettling. I walked and walked and walked, my feet and ankles getting sore. Still wasn't seeing the structure I'd seen from the highway anywhere, though I was sure I was going the right way. I started second-guessing myself as to whether it was some kind of mirage or illusion, for I might have gotten myself turned around somewhere, as there were really no landmarks to gauge exactly where I was. Just when I was feeling completely exhausted, I saw what looked like the top of the building I was seeking in the distance. I wanted to keep going, but I was completely spent. I had to turn in for the night. Found a small patch of grass along a side street and made my camp. My camp was just me laying my head down on my backpack as a pillow. My backpack that contained nothing in it but a hoodie and big old headphones I couldn't use without my phone to connect to them. The sun was setting. Felt a little bit colder, so I threw on my hoodie, which helped a good bit even though it took some of the padding off of my pillow. As tired as I was, I had trouble drifting off to sleep. I was getting sadder, much more anxious, freaking out a bit at the prospect that I was all alone and the last person around. The silence was still pretty unsettling until the break from the silence scared me more than I could imagine. I suddenly heard a rustling, or whispering. I don't really know how to describe the sound. I looked around me and I saw something new. It looked like hazy shapes of people, shadowy people, black shapes of folks milling about. They weren't close to me, but they were skulking about all over the place. None of them seemed to be aware or interact with any of the others. Just walked. Some ran wildly. It all seemed pretty random, but it scared the shit out of me enough that no matter how lonely I felt and desperate for human interaction, I didn't want anything to do with it. I would love to find some good place to hide, but given that everything was pretty flat, with nothing around, there was nothing for me to do. I curled up in the smallest, trying to go to sleep ball I could, and just watched them. Watched for what seemed like hours. Again, I didn't really have a concept of time without my phone. And that night was the first time I realized that the sun doesn't go completely down here, wherever this is. Just peaks below the horizon, hangs there for a bit, then comes right back up. So I guess, technically, I stayed up all night? Or day? Or whatever night and day is here? I felt pretty exhausted, but I just got on up and kept trekking on. I could see the building I was trying to get to, but still looked really far away. This might take me all day to get to, or more, but also, how else was I gonna do? Still hadn't eaten anything, drank anything, or anything else I really needed to do. Started questioning things. Was this death? Was this some weird form of my purgatory? All these types of questions started running through my head as I was walking. What was going on with my friends? Were they worried about me? Were they even alive to worry about me? I don't really know any of this at this point. Well, I just walked. Walked and walked and walked. The building came more and more into view, but it didn't seem like I was coming up quick enough. How the hell far away was it? Completely lost track of where I might be in the neighborhood. I was probably in a different neighborhood in the city by now. After it felt like a good 6 to 8 hours of walking and being incredibly beat, I could finally see the bottom of the building. It would still look like it might be a half day's walk out. I could see that, unless my eyes were mistaking me, that it was a gas station. It looked like it was a small one with just 2 pumps outside of a small 1-story square building. Looked around again for something to lean against or somewhere to hide myself, but same as before, nothing. I was completely running out of steam and decided to sit down on the ground for a bit and think. I saw the shadows come out again. Most of them were in the distance, same as the others, just meandering around aimlessly. Suddenly had the feeling as though I was being watched. Quickly turned around and saw a tall, shadowy figure standing 10 feet from me. Had no distinguishable features and its shape just kind of swayed in the wind. But I swear to God, it looked like it was staring right at me, or maybe through me. Stood up and faced it. Stayed right where it was, facing in my direction. Looked like the shape of a tall, lanky man, maybe having about a foot and change on me. Swayed back and forth a bit, cocked its head to the side. "Hey, what do you want?" I shouted out. No answer. "Where are we? What is this? Did you bring me here?" Still no answer. In an instant, tucked his head down and charged at me. "Oh shit!" I shouted as I planted my feet, prepared to punch at the thing. It was quick as hell. I threw a right at it, but it didn't connect. The thing went to grip me in a bear hug, but passed right through me. When I turned around, fist up, I saw it fade into nothingness. It took a bit for my heart to slow down, the adrenaline to work its way out of my system. When it did, I took a seat next to my backpack and watched the other shadows in the distance as the sun slid down, almost all the way below the horizon. It wasn't all the way though, and I didn't sleep again. Also felt a bit sick to my stomach, weaker, a constant feeling of anxiety, like something had been taken from me after that interaction. A few more days, maybe, passed. I was delirious. I didn't feel the need to eat or drink still, but I definitely felt the need to sleep. Sleep wouldn't come though. It's not for the past 2 nights, 3 nights, I don't know how many. Lack of sleep could have been the reason I was seeing those shadowy things. They felt a lot more real to me than insomnia-related hallucinations. In spite of it all, I think I could deal with the nothingness, the lack of sleep, the long-ass walks to God knows what, all of it. If it wasn't still for this damn loneliness. Not good without distraction. I'm really not good without people. Left with nothing but the horrors of my own mind, my own inner monologue. It's just too much. Usually try to avoid it at all costs. I had half a mind to try to befriend one of those shadowy fuckers, but after the way I've been feeling since that one charged through me, I scratched that off the list. I don't even know what I'm doing. Guess if the loneliness gets too bad, I can always just throw myself to them and let them kill me or do whatever they're trying to. At this point, I didn't know if I was more afraid of them or the madness that would ensue in this strange isolation. I continued on. I walked. I kept going. When I felt tired, I rested for 5 to 10 minutes. Then I walked some more. Shadows were out all day now, but always in the distance, always doing their own thing and not approaching me. The building came closer and closer into view. I was getting to the end of this trip here. I was feeling more and more tired, more and more sad. The closer I got, I could tell this was definitely a small gas station. Probably walked for a good 12 hours or so, though I didn't really know what time was. It could have been 20 hours or it could have been 2 for all I knew, but hey, I finally got there. I almost couldn't believe that it was real when I finally made it and touched the side of one of the gas pumps. I looked around the place for a second. I yelled out, "Hey, is anyone there? Hey, I need some help." Silence. Pretty much the norm at this point, but hey, a guy can hope, right? I walked up to the door of the building, and through the windows caked with dust, it looked like a usual convenience store type dealie that are attached to most of these kind of small gas stations. I got my hopes up that there would be a cashier or someone working inside, and of course there wasn't. It was almost what I'd expect in this type of landscape. There were things there, but it was pretty bare bones. There was a counter, a cash register, red telephone all covered in dust. There were a couple of aisles that should have been filled with chips and candy or whatever, but nothing in them. There were a few bags I'd check out later, but I looked at the cooler doors. I don't know what they're called exactly. You know, the refrigerated areas along the walls where you open the door and get a cool drink. They were there, but no drinks inside. I looked around for a bit and was shocked when I heard a sudden... I saw one of those shadowy figures outside, banging against the glass. I jumped back and fell down on my ass behind one of the aisle stands for the chips that should have been full of chips, but wasn't. After a few seconds, I poked my head up to take a look, and I saw the shadow was just there outside the gas station convenience store, just slamming his hands on the door and on the glass windows. For a few seconds, moved a few feet over and continued it. All of a sudden, I heard another strange sound. The sound was coming from the red, dust-caked old phone sitting on the counter. I stumbled and crawled over to it, picked it up as quickly as I could. Dust shot up as I picked it up, and desperately, I almost yelled in the receiver, "Hello, who is it?" "You're exactly where you're supposed to be. You don't know how to live in the moment at all, do you?" "What? Who are you? I haven't talked to anybody in forever. Who are you?" "Of course you haven't. That tracks. That's why you're here." Wait, what? I don't understand. Who are you? You know where this place is? I waited a few seconds. "If I were you, I'd barricade those doors. They're coming for you. They want to make you one of them." And then I heard a slam of a hang-up on the phone, the type I haven't heard since I was a kid when cell phones weren't quite a thing and we still had these landline phones. Well, I immediately heard the banging of the shadowy guy on the outside of the window. Then I heard and saw another one of those motherfuckers banging along the window a few feet down the way. Alright, fuck, I'm not safe here. He told me to barricade it. Whoever the fuck he was. Alright, and I looked around. I guess I was lucky they didn't find the door. I went to the standing things in the aisle and tried to pick one up to move against the door. It was a lot heavier than I thought it would be. I had to throw my full shoulder and back into it, and after a bunch of nudging, got it up against the door. But okay, so there was shit in front of the door now, but the whole front of the store was just a bunch of large glass windows. They'd been pounding on it for a while, and if they were just a little bit stronger, they'd break through and do whatever they were planning to do. My mind was going all over the place. I mean, one of these things tried to get me earlier and just went right through me. So, are they really a threat? I didn't know for sure, but I didn't want to take my chances. I moved the rest of those aisle things over against the front wall with the big glass windows. It took me a while, and as I did, I noticed a few bags of chips fall off of them. Once I got them over to the windows, I grabbed the bag of chips and sat down with my back against the new barricades. It was one of those super hot red Cheetos bags. I normally love that shit, but still didn't feel any sense of real hunger. Fuck it. I opened it up and dove in. At this point, I knew they were spicy and I just wanted to feel something other than just survival. All I wanted was something to feel like home, but of course, I ate the things and it tasted just like cardboard. Like with everything here. Kind of nothingness. Everything about this whole thing over the past few days has just been nothingness. Fuck. There were two shadowy guys or gals or whatever before. Now I think there are like 5. They're slamming on the glass. I think the stuff I put across the windows might make it harder for them to crawl in. If they really want to break the windows, they'll break the windows. They can totally crawl over the debris I put in place. I don't know why these things are after me. I don't know why I'm here. I was just chilling in the park the last thing I knew. What the hell? Are these things trying to come in here and tear me apart? What the fuck did I do? I'm just a regular guy. I go to work every day. I do my job. I go home and I do what I can to get ready for the next day. I'm freaking the fuck out. And then all of a sudden, the dusty red phone starts ringing again. I damn near pulled a hammy shuffling up from my seated position and rushed to the thing. I pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Who the fuck are you? Get me out of here right now. Sweet child. Get you out of here? Isn't this exactly what you wanted? Wait, what? I don't know what you're talking about. What I wanted... Who are you? And what do you mean by that bullshit? Who I am doesn't matter. Who you are and what you do does. I waited, but there was a long-ass pause, and he didn't say anything. What do you mean what I do? What do you mean who I am? Oh, you better take cover for a bit and not let them see you. If they get you, you'll become one of them. You'll be stuck here forever. So I was about to respond, the phone line went dead. He hung up. Piece of shit. There's more slamming on the glass, and I dived behind one of the kiosks in the store. While I was out of view, after a minute or so, the banging on the glass stopped. I peeked around the corner and saw that there were multiple sections of the glass windows that were cracked now. Ah, shit. That's not going to be good. There were obvious impact points with smaller cracks spiderwebbing out. I didn't see as many of the shadow folks, but there were 3 in my sight pacing back and forth in front of the window of the gas station. I observed them intently, trying to get some idea who or what they were. They didn't seem to be communicating with each other, or in some cases even aware that each other existed. At one point, I saw one walk right in the path of the other. When it looked like there was a collision coming, it passed right through the other. In my gazing about, I almost forgot why I was hiding, until I saw one's head snap in my direction, come running full force at the glass, hitting it with a... Thankfully, it didn't look like it broke. I ducked my head back around, and I sat there for a good while. Good long while. My strategic mind starts going, well, I guess I have to get out of here. It's not safe, wherever this place is. Doesn't seem like I need to eat or drink, so in a way, time is on my side, I guess. I feel like I'm losing my mind, though, without sleep, and getting kind of weaker in the process. If I wait long enough, will things just go away? Maybe then I can escape, but also, where to? Time passed. As always, how much? I couldn't tell you. Without it ever getting completely dark outside, without a phone or watch or clock, without needing to eat, without needing to sleep, feeling like I was going completely batshit insane. It could have been hours or days, I don't know. Now sitting, still behind the kiosk, arms wrapped around my knees, hugging them close to my chest, rocking back and forth to comfort my decaying mind, I was startled by the red phone ringing again. I shot up and picked it up. I didn't even let the voice start. Okay, I'm done. I don't know who you are, but I'm done. What do I need to do to get out of here? Life is a gift. That's it? Yeah, I know. What? Am I dead? What is this? Not yet. But this is where the folks who waste too much time of their gift end up. This is where I send them. What, you sent me here? Who are you? Voice on the other end went on like I hadn't said a word. Every day there's a whole world in front of you. There are sights, sounds, other people, experiences to be had. But you bury your face in your phone or your computer and try to turn off your brain. You lose sense of time, and before you know it, your day is gone. Your week is gone. I don't understand what this has to do with me. I don't do it that much. In a world so full of wonder, people like you are just taking up space, wasting your gift. But the fact that you made it here, the disconnected haven't turned you yet, tells me there might still be hope. Leave this place now. Run as fast as you can. Run towards the cloud. With his last word, I looked up as I heard the crashing of glass and saw what had to be at least 10 of the shadowy figures come falling into the gas station. Without missing a beat, while it looked like they were scrambling to get up and charge towards me, I jumped over them, and broken glass and everything else, and I jumped out of one of the broken windows. There were swarms of what the man on the phone called the disconnected, swarming around and chasing me now. A few reached to grab me. They couldn't get a hold of as their arms passed through me, but I felt weaker and sicker each time one of them tried. I was able to break free and I kept running. But even though I was getting further away from the gas station, the cluster of disconnected was running essentially still towards nothingness, until I heard a loud boom in the distance and a bright flash of light that washed out everything. As my vision started returning, I saw what looked like a giant mushroom cloud, the kind I'd always seen in videos of atomic bomb testing. I kept running, straight towards it. At this point, I didn't have anything else left to lose. I was weak, I was tired, my anxiety was so bad, I felt like my head was going to burst. But I kept running. Then I tripped on something. I fell forward and rolled on the grass. Wait, the grass? Dude, what are you doing? You almost plowed right over me, said my friend Brandon as he helped me up off the grass. I took his hand and stood up, looking all around, and I was back in the park. Wait, the hell? How'd I get back here? How long have I been gone? Hey, are you okay? You were over there chilling on your phone, then you were gone. Probably about an hour or so? Nobody saw you leave. Figured you went home to get more beer or take a piss or something. I don't know. I was pretty speechless. Hey man, did you take something? Or you alright? Oh, no. I didn't. I'm not messing with anything. I think I'm okay. Well, come on. Get in on the next bocce game. I need a partner for this one. You gonna be okay? So I walked further into the park to meet up with the rest of the gang. Everything seemed a little bit different. Grass looked a little greener. Warmth of the sun felt a little more comforting. Breeze felt great. The smiles on my friends' faces rejuvenated my soul in a way that I felt gratitude that I had long forgotten. Yeah, Bran, I think I'm going to be okay. It almost got me. I guess I almost got myself, depending on how you look at it. Well, summer's not quite over yet, and there's still plenty of fun to be had. Just need to be a little better at looking up from screens and enjoying what's around me. Hope you liked this episode tonight. As always, if you did, give me a thumbs up, like, rating, review, whatever you can on the platform you're listening. Hoping it will get me randomly recommended to some other horror podcast enthusiasts. Not quite sure how all those algorithms work, so honestly, better yet, if you like any of these stories, share them with your friends. Greatly appreciated. You can also follow City of Phear on Facebook or Instagram for updates on episodes and occasional videos featuring myself and sometimes the cats. Next episode, we'll have another story from a featured guest author. Really excited about that one and hope you come back in a couple weeks to check it out. As always, appreciate you guys for stopping in for the visit. You're always welcome. It's never long enough. So don't be strangers. Have a good night, good rest of the week, and I hope to see you back real soon.